What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am Ricardo, your NBA sports journalist, and today we are asking the question that every single person in New York City is asking right now. The question that Knicks fans have been waiting 52 years to seriously ask. The question that the entire basketball world is suddenly forced to take seriously after watching what this team has done in these 2026 playoffs. Can the New York Knicks win the NBA championship? And I am not asking this as a joke. I am not asking it to get a reaction. I am asking it because the data, the results, the evidence from these playoffs demands that we ask it honestly and answer it honestly. Let me give you the full picture of what the Knicks have done to get here, because I think people are still not fully processing how dominant this team has been. First round against Atlanta. The Knicks won that series 4-2. They won Game 1 at home, 113-102. They dropped Games 2 and 3, both close, both on the road, which gave Atlanta some hope. And then New York closed it out in convincing fashion. Game 5 in New York, 126-97. Game 6 in Atlanta, 140-89. They ended that series by outscoring Atlanta by 51 points combined in the final two games. That is not a team that survived a tough series. That is a team that turned a switch. Second round against Philadelphia, the Knicks swept the 76ers 4-0. Game 1 in New York, 137-98. They won by 39 points in Game 1 of a second-round series. Game 2, 108-102. Game 3 in Philadelphia, 108-94. Game 4 in Philadelphia, 144-114. They won by 30 points in the closing game of the series, on the road, against a Philadelphia team that had just upset the Boston Celtics. Think about that for a second. The 76ers who beat the Celtics in Game 7, with Embiid playing through appendix surgery, with Maxey going for 30 in the biggest game of the season, those 76ers got swept by the New York Knicks in 4 games. And 3 of those 4 games were not even close. Now, the Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Game 1 is Wednesday night at Madison Square Garden. New York is the 70.2% favorite. Cleveland has a 29.8% win probability. The Cavaliers, who barely survived Detroit in a 7-game second-round series, are coming to New York having been pushed to the absolute limit, while the Knicks have been fresh and dominant. So the path to the finals is right there. Beat Cleveland, which the data says they are heavy favorites to do, and the Knicks are in the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999, for the first time in 27 years. At Madison Square Garden, in front of the most passionate basketball city in the world. And then they face either Oklahoma City or San Antonio in the finals. And that is where the honest conversation gets complicated. Let me give you both sides of the Knicks championship argument and let you decide. The case for the Knicks winning the title. They are playing the best basketball of any team in the Eastern Conference right now, and it is not particularly close. Their offense has been explosive. 144 points in Game 4 against Philly, 140 points in Game 6 against Atlanta. They are sharing the ball. They are getting easy buckets in transition. They are shooting efficiently from 3 and getting to the free throw line at a high rate. Jalen Brunson has been the orchestrator, smart, composed, making the right play in every situation. OG Anunoby has been a defensive force. Mikal Bridges has been exactly the connective tissue this roster needed. Karl-Anthony Towns has been dominant in the post and on the glass. And most importantly, they have MSG. Madison Square Garden in a final series against whoever comes out of the West would be the loudest, most electric, most historically significant home court advantage in the NBA. The Garden has not hosted a finals game since 1999. The energy in that building for a potential championship game would be unlike anything we have seen in modern basketball. The case against the Knicks winning the title is Oklahoma City, because if OKC comes out of the West, and they are the heavy favorites to do so, the Knicks are facing a team that went 8-0 through 2 rounds of the playoffs, swept 2 opponents, and has SGA playing at an MVP level with Holmgren and one of the deepest benches in the league. That is a different challenge than Atlanta or Philadelphia. That is a different challenge than a Cleveland team that just barely survived Detroit in 7 games. The question is not whether the Knicks are good enough to win the East. They clearly are. The question is whether any Eastern Conference team is good enough to beat Oklahoma City in a 7-game series right now. And the honest answer is, it is going to be extremely difficult. But here is what I keep coming back to when I think about the Knicks' championship chances. Playoff basketball is not regular season basketball. Momentum matters, freshness matters, belief matters. And this Knicks team, coming in hot, sweeping the 76ers, resting and watching while Cleveland and Detroit battered each other for 7 games, has all 3 of those things right now. Brunson in a finals environment at MSG, OG Anunoby guarding SGA for 7 games, KT matching up against Holmgren in the post. These are not mismatches that automatically go against New York. These are competitive battles that could go either way, depending on execution and adjustments. The Knicks have not won a championship since 1973, 53 years. Multiple generations of New York basketball fans who have watched their team come close and fall short. And this 2026 version, built correctly, playing together, peaking at the right time, gives them the best chance they have had in decades. Can they win the finals? Yes. Absolutely yes. Is it probable against OKC? The numbers say no. But this entire playoff run has been about the Knicks doing what the numbers said was unlikely. And Madison Square Garden in a championship series is worth points that do not show up in win probability models. The Knicks can win it all. And starting Wednesday night in Game 1 against Cleveland, the road to finding out begins. I am Ricardo, your NBA sports journalist. Smash that like button, subscribe for Game 1 live reaction Wednesday night and daily NBA and WNBA coverage, and drop a comment below. Do you think the Knicks can win the 2026 NBA championship? I will see you Wednesday at the Garden.